Hello, welcome to the Purl-suit knitting show. My name is Sarah, and on this show we talk about all things knitting, crocheting, spinning, fiber arts related, and just arts in general, figuring out how to express ourselves. And our motto here is art makes life worth living. If you have not followed my YouTube channel already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and click the notification bell so that you get notifications whenever I post a new video. In today's show, I am going to be going over my top 5 favorite projects that I made in 2022. This is kind of a funny story. I recorded a whole video on my top 10 favorite makes of 2022 on December 31st of 2022, and through a series of unfortunate events that is no longer in existence, the video bombed, so we never posted it. So here we are. You're getting to see take 2. I hope that you enjoy. Let's go. I think I'm gonna go in chronological order with this one, and that starts off with this beauty right here. This was made, it was either the end of January or the beginning of February in 2022, and my intention was to wear it for Pride because obviously the rainbow colors are to die for. Unfortunately, that is not what happened, because the day of our Pride Festival, I believe it was a high of 92, and yeah, this was not going to be worn. But it's still beautiful. I wear it all the time because it's a great cardigan. It's really comfortable. It has a lot of holes, so it's really breathable. And I just used a granny square hexagon pattern. I used a tutorial on YouTube actually, which I'll link down below. It was from PassioKnit Goods. It's a very clear, concise, easy to follow tutorial. And I used the Mandala yarn from Lion Brand, and I believe the color was Gnome. I'll link everything down in the description if you're curious or if you want to recreate anything that I've made. But this was definitely one of my favorite projects overall, so that's why it made it in the top 5. Keeping with my rainbow theme, number 2 is this adorable little mushroom bag. Hopefully the camera focuses on it here. It was made using the Mushroom Granny Square tutorial or pattern. I believe her username is Goddess Connections, and I'll have her pattern linked down below. This was one of the most creative, innovative patterns that I've tried, and it turned out really well, so I made a ton of them. I have a few on my website in different colors. I think there's 1 or 2 rainbow ones and then a couple kind of 70s colors. So I will have those linked if you're interested. But this was kind of the perfect size to put, you know, my phone, my wallet, my keys, my inhaler, a lip balm, and just kind of the essentials during the summer to carry around, so I didn't have to carry a big bag with me. And it was a hit. Everyone in town was complimenting it. So for this project, I just used a bunch of rainbow acrylic yarn that I had lying around. It's all different colors. It was a great stash busting project, and I mean, I used up a lot of colors. So my next project is now my brand mascot. His name is Greg, and I will give a little bit of a backstory before I show Greg off. So I got a new nephew last year. Gosh, I'm still not used to saying it. He was born at the very end of June, and we were going out to visit the family in August. So I really wanted to make something cute and memorable and special for him. So I wanted to make a stuffed elephant because his name is Elias, so the E's match. But I had never really done any sort of stuffed animals or anything before, and so I wanted to purchase a pattern to try, just kind of as a crapshoot of like, if it doesn't work out, I can try something else before I commit to one project. So with that being said, this is the project. That was my crapshoot. His name is Greg. He's an axolotl. Yay! Obey the Greg. Yes. So I made him on a TikTok live, and my followers and I just followed the process along and then named him. He has a little bow tie that I included. I think the pattern was from Tori Diane Crochet, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll have that linked as well. And I used the Bernat Velvet yarn, and I just used 2 colors and then just some random yarn I had lying around for the eyes. I don't remember what colors they were, and I don't have the labels anymore, unfortunately, but it turned out so well. And he's squishy and soft and cuddly, so. We're gonna skip ahead a few months to another favorite. I made my first balaclava. I jumped on that train really late, but it turned out really nice. It's all made out of acrylic yarn, and I followed a tutorial on YouTube. I did not follow it well, so just a disclaimer for that. I thought I knew what I was doing, so I skipped ahead a few steps. Should not have done that. But I'll put it on so you can see what it looks like. Okay, something like that, right? So the reason that I made this is because I had been wanting to make one for a really long time, but I just never had the time to do it, so I just kept putting it off. And a few weeks ago, here in South Dakota, we had -19-degree temperatures with a wind chill. It felt something like -30, -40. And I'm not good with the cold, like the extreme cold, so I wanted to make another layer that I could throw on just to help protect my face and my ears and everything from the wind. So I was wearing, my wool hat that I made. One day I counted, and I think I had exactly 20 layers of clothing on, including, like triple socks, triple pants, triple shirts, like 3 jackets, and, everything. So this was a part of that, and it saved my butt. And it's really soft, and it's not perfect by any means, obviously, but I really liked the colors of this. It felt kind of just like a melted box of crayons, and then I had the idea to do the black and white as a contrast, and I think it turned out really well. So I will definitely be making more of these. I will be just following the tutorial correctly. So I'll link the tutorial down below. And this is just random acrylic yarn that I had in my. I'm gonna ask for forgiveness in advance because this project is not clean yet, and it definitely needs to be washed. So just ignore that, and let's go. These socks, I finished. I talked about them in the last episode, and the second sock had not been started yet, but I started it and finished it. And this is the yarn in the color Stitch Witch by Dye Mad Yarns. And it's just a vanilla sock pattern. I think my needles were 2.75 millimeters. I don't remember exactly, but I just have a 2x2 rib, stockinette, just super simple sock. Now, with these, I do not know what happened. If any experienced seasoned sock knitters can give me some advice, some help, that would be awesome. So this was the first sock that I made, and it turned out fine. My stitches were even, my tension was even. I used the exact same needles, and for whatever reason, the second one turned out so much wider and larger and looser at the top. Same amount of stitches. I've like triple, quadruple checked, and like it was the same pair of needles. The foot turned out the exact same on both of them, but the leg did not work out as well. Now I'm not gonna frog them, take them out, and redo them because I just don't care that much, but it's, I don't know if you can see it. It's significantly larger than the other one. So when I was wearing them last week, I had to keep like tucking it into my leggings because it kept falling down, and the other one was fine, but anyway, if you have any clue what's going on, I would love to know because I have no clue what's going on. So one of my works in progress from the last episode turned out to be one of my favorite projects in today's episode, and I'm trying to keep it on the hanger so it doesn't poke a hole in it, but I'm gonna have to hang it differently. I know why it's bad to hang knitwear. Anyways, this is the piece. So this piece was made with 2 strands of yarn held together with a sparkly sock yarn and then a mohair thread running through it. So you can see baby. It's kind of sparkly and it's fluffy and fuzzy and wonderful. So I will try and put a picture here if I can. That was one of my issues in the last recording of this video, but I'll try and put a picture here of me wearing it so you can get a better idea of what it looks like. But this was my first kind of big knit project, and it turned out unexpectedly well for the problems that I had with it. If I have time, we can go ahead and talk about it. So I taught myself how to knit on YouTube. And that is great. It's an easy way for it to be accessible to people, and I 100% recommend it. However, the problem with it is if you're doing something wrong, you don't have someone sitting next to you to correct it, to help you through it. So I was twisting my stitches and not even knowing it. So I was basically doing them backwards, and it turned out fine for the bottom part when you're just going around because I use circular needles. But then when you split it off to do the front and the back, and you're now no longer doing stockinette in the round, you're going knit, purl, and turning it. It doesn't look the same and it doesn't look right. And I just realized it was not looking correct. And I could not just let it not look correct. It was just too bothersome to me. So I ripped it out and I redid it, and I was terrified, but it worked. And so I just kind of looked up a video on how to do it and really closely watched how they were doing the stitches. And I was doing both my knit and my purl kind of backwards. So yeah, I fixed it and it turned out well, but that was kind of a journey to get here. So my favorite thing about this sweater is that it has shorter sleeves. These go about down to my elbow, like right here when I'm wearing it. And in my office building, everyone is always cold, but I am always boiling and sweating, dying of heat, right? So this is kind of the perfect sweater for that, because I still want to be warm and cozy, but I don't want to be overheating and like rolling my sleeves up all day. So this is like the perfect sleeve length for me to wear to work. But yay. So the yarn that I used, both strands that I was holding together was from Kato Yarn Company, and it was in the color Mermaid, which I think was a summer limited edition color, but I just happened to get enough of it during the fall. And the pattern, I did not follow exactly, especially on the sleeves. Like I followed it pretty exactly from the bottom up, and then the sleeves, the original pattern called for German short rows, which I don't know how to do yet, and I wanted to wear this piece, so I needed to get it done really fast. So I just did regular, I picked up the stitches, went in the round, and then decreased it a little bit, and then did a little bit of ribbing on the side. But this was the Short and Sweet, I believe it's called, sweater pattern by Beck's Knits, and I will put that linked in the description below. It was a very easy to follow pattern, but it, you can only do what you can do, right? So that's that. I'm hanging it like I'm supposed to. No one yell at me. That out of the way, I might just do some knitting, some chatting. We'll see where that goes. I'm gonna work on this project. I finished one sock, and I'm working on the second one. So this, also both strands are from Kato Yarn Company. I know for sure that the sparkle sock one is in the color Bloom, but I don't know what the mohair that I was holding with it is called. It's just a really pretty hot pink and purple kind of variegated yarn. Oh, focus please. There we go. Look how pretty. And it probably won't pick up on camera, but there is just gorgeous sparkles running all through the yarn. And yeah, I'm excited to make these. I started these 2 days ago, and I finished this one in church yesterday. We had a long church meeting, and then I started the second one, but I haven't worked on it because I wasn't feeling well yesterday. So I got the cuff done, and I got a little bit of the leg done, but I'm working on it. So I actually had these two not wound together like I did with my sweater, the blue one, just because when I wound them together, a lot of times the mohair would be sticking to itself at points during the winding, and so I'd be getting, like, I don't know how to describe it, but I was getting a lot more of the mohair than the sock, and it was awkward. It didn't work out too well. It was kind of clunky, but these two, I'll try and show them both. Crap, come on. Okay, these two are the yarns that I'm holding together to make these socks. So, this was the first yarn that I bought from Kato Yarn Company. And it's got green and purple and pink, tiny bit of yellow, and then just really pretty sparkles. And then the mohair. Oh, focus. Focus, says me. Come on. There we go. Okay, it does not want to focus on the mohair, but these two together. So when you hold a strand of mohair with a strand of sock, it kind of becomes a DK weight yarn. So that's why I'm doing it this way, and that's why it's coming together so quickly. But yeah, I'm using, let's see what size needles. 3.5 millimeters, or US size 4. And these are, I do not know how to pronounce the name of the company, but I think it's like Ciaogu, Ciaogu, CIAOGOO is how it's spelled. But there's that. So right now I'm just doing stockinette a little bit, and I'll try and chat. I feel so annoyed because on my first video that I filmed, it turned out really well, but the footage, after I edited out kind of the awkward pauses and things I wanted to edit out, it ended up being about 50 minutes of footage. And the software that I normally use to edit, which is Canva, it could not handle that large of a file. And so I was trying to find other programs that would work that I didn't really have to pay for. And I found one, and I thought it was gonna work, but then it put my work behind a paywall. And it was a really expensive paywall that they did not disclose any fees for to begin with. So I had spent more than 10 hours filming and editing this stupid video, and it ultimately just did not work. So to protect my sanity and my peace, I just said, I'm done. I'm just not going to try to beat this dead horse anymore. So I got over it. It took me longer than I'm proud to admit, but I got over it. We're good. We're fine. And so that's why today's video is shorter than 50 minutes, but that's okay. I don't know exactly how long this is gonna be. I'm just gonna knit and we'll keep going. So in my last, or in the video that never happened, the one that got away, we're just gonna call it that from now on, okay? The video that got away. So in that video, I kind of talked about my goals for 2023, and it was good to talk through it on camera because I'm kind of a verbal processor, but I still want to share that because it's kind of exciting and fun things that are in the works. So my first goal that I'm going to talk about is YouTube and content creation. And this one, I mean, obviously I'm doing it right now, and it's a lot more hard work than I anticipated, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a really long time, like since I was, you know, a middle schooler, a young teenager, you know? And it was something that I was always really scared of and didn't think I would be capable of doing it. Number one, because, you know, I grew up in a really strict home and I don't think I would have been allowed to when I was a minor, which is totally fair. Like, I probably wouldn't let my minor child, if I had one, be on YouTube, putting their life out there. But secondly, I just didn't really think that anything that I had to say or anything I could show would be worthy of someone's attention and someone's time, which couldn't be further from the truth, you know? There's so much space out there for people's opinions, and I don't think that people should shy away from doing their goals, you know? So there's that. But a piece of nuance to this is that I am not really great at like super consistent posting and super consistent, you know, content creation things. I have started and, you know, worked at and dropped off of so many different accounts and ventures. And I mean, there's a very simple reason for that. I have really severe ADHD that I only in the last year have started to get help for. So, you know, this looks different for me than it might look for someone who does not have ADHD, and that's okay. So I'm learning to accept those things, that it's okay and I can take my time. And if it's something that I enjoy and that I want to do, I'm going to find a way to do it. So there's that goal. I'm sure that I'll be talking about that a lot more in videos to come, but there's, you know, there's all that. So my second goal is kind of still being fleshed out. I don't know exactly how it's all gonna work, but my second goal is to look into being a wholesaler for things that I make, and just working with small businesses and local boutiques and having a personal relationship with them to sell my products to them, as opposed to running my own online store, focusing a lot on marketing and not really getting anywhere. So there's that. I don't know how that'll look yet. I'm still kind of putting together things and ideas and strategies, but that's goal number 2. And I think my camera is going to shut off from overheating, so hang on just 1 second and I'll be back. All right, my friends, we're back. My camera had some time to cool down and I'm still knitting here, and at any moment my lovely human partner Cameron will come in with some dinner because it's pretty late right now. So anyway, before that happens, my third goal that I wanted to talk about is one that I personally am very excited about, but I'm not exactly sure how it is going to look yet. I feel like that's the same for all of them. I mean, heck, we're only in January, right? But my third goal is to start a creativity coaching group. Again, I don't know exactly how that's going to look, but I am a certified life coach, and after getting certified, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, and I hadn't really done a whole lot with it. I'd met with a few people, taken a few clients, but really not much at all. So in the last few months, I've really been inspired to use this skill and use this certification for something that I feel like can do a lot of good. And I believe that that is in the world of creatives and artists. So I can go a little bit into my story soon, but yeah, I don't know if it's going to be an online thing. I think I would prefer for it to be in person, but you know, I want to make it as accessible to as many people as possible. And if, you know, there are people who can't go out in groups because of, you know, being more vulnerable to COVID, those kinds of things, or if, they have, you know, social anxiety of being around people, whatever the case might be, or maybe they live in a different area, still want to participate in the program, whatever. I might do an online one too, who knows, but I believe that in a society that is capitalist, right, it does it the most to try and stifle creatives and stifle artists. And I just want to do what I can to help people realize their passion again for creativity, for people, you know, like myself, who work in an office job every day, because we got bills to pay, we got things to do, right? But there's just a desire and a need to create, and it is my belief that if you're an artist, if you're a creative person, that if you're not creating, that it's killing you, you know, not like literally physically, but that's the reason for a lot of emotional distress, a lot of mental illness, a lot of things I think can be caused by not doing what you feel like you were designed to do. So again, that's very vague and that's intentional because I don't know exactly how it's going to look yet, but I want to put together a program. I want to do group coaching. I have never done group coaching before, but I think that this concept could be really effective in that way. And yeah, see where that goes. So we'll see. So why this creativity coaching thing is important to me is that I truly feel like I would not be here, like on this planet here, were it not for art. And if you head to my Instagram, shameless plug here, it's at La Travail Designs on Instagram and TikTok. You can go down to the description and find those there as well. But in my bio, it just says art makes life worth living. In the last time that I was struggling with wanting to be on this earth, I was really grasping at straws, just trying to find meaning, trying to find a purpose, trying to find a reason to stay. And I have so many reasons, but as my mentally ill friends will know, in those moments, it's hard to recall those and view them as valid reasons. So eventually, after staying up for a few nights, really struggling, the idea, the concept that art makes life worth living really stuck out to me. And so I really want to explore that a lot for myself, but also because I think that it can be helpful to others. And so I really want to do a deep dive just personally into, you know, why does art make life beautiful? Why does it help people keep going? Why does it give people purpose? Like, what about it transcends our understanding, you know? So that's kind of where I'm coming from in terms of like why I really want to do this course and this group, this coaching group. Again, it's pretty undefined right now, and I think that's a perfect place. Excuse me. I think that's a perfect place for it to be, really. I think that a lot of creative people and a lot of artists probably feel the same way I do and are probably looking for resources that can be helpful. And my dream for this program is for it to be accessible, for it to be affordable, and for it to be collaborative and for people to have camaraderie, all of those things. So yeah, that's goal number 3 for myself. Ever since my partner Cameron and I were married, we have done like goal setting sessions at the beginning of every year, and that was mine for this year. So we did it a little bit differently this year. In the latest iOS update on our phones, there came a new app. I think it's called Freeform, and it's just kind of like a cloud-based document that you can share. And you can add pictures, you can add sticky notes, you can add text to it. It's pretty simple, but it's effective. So we added, you know, a bunch of pictures of like really happy moments for us in our lives, and we added pictures of the dogs, obviously. And then we both added personal goals, you know, whether that was side hustle related or not, and relationship goals for us together, and yeah. Looks like we're overheating again. So I wanted to say that I appreciate you joining me and spending some time with me while we knit a little sock together and I talked about my favorite projects. Again, if you're not subscribed already, I would love to have you subscribe and join this little family of mine. And follow my Instagram, my TikTok, whatever social media you're on, I'm probably on too. And I will have a closer up look at these projects that I mentioned today on my Instagram after this video goes up. So head on over there if you want to see it. Yeah, thanks for joining, and I hope that you have an awesome day.